Hello and welcome to our first video recording of PM Web, which is what you as a subcontractor would use in your office to schedule your crews and look at what properties you've done, etc., and see pictures of what was done today and yesterday, and it's so on and so forth. So what you would do is you go to the property tab, properties.aprsi.net, and when you go there, you would then log in. And now that I'm logged in, I can see I have 5 tabs coming across the top, and we're going to go through a different video on each tab. So I'm going to start now with the Properties tab. If I highlight that and I hit Current, these are all the current properties that I have as a subcontractor with asset preservation. So I can see that I have 35 Fannie Mae properties, 1 Freddie Mac, 4 pre-foreclosures, and I have 5 in different areas for HECM with single source and asset. If I click on Fannie Mae, it now tells me here are the active properties, and it'll give me a list of all the addresses. If I look at some of these columns, it tells me the address, the city, state, county. REO number and loan number mean nothing to you, but it does tell us the bank is Fannie Mae, who the broker is. This is my crew, who I am, and these are my sub crews, or the people that I send out to do the work. It tells me if it's a single family house or a multi-unit or a condo. It tells me the day of service. We're going to come back to this column when we hit the scheduling tab over here, because this is really key if you want to have the system help you organize you and your crew's day and your weeks, so you can just know that you're getting things done on time as you're expected to. FTV stands for first time vacant. This deals with pre-foreclosures that actually go into vacancy. This tells us the frequency of when we're doing the yard or the exterior. And this just tells us if there is a property preservation, or a pre-pres, I should say. So it's a pre-foreclosure property that we're actually doing services on. You would see a check on that. And then the property ID, which really means nothing to you. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to select an address. I'll take 117 Well Avenue. And on the right here, I can see I have some information about that. On the property tab, I have actually a number of tabs over here. If I go to the property tab, I can see the address and the county it's in, and some square footage and things like that about the house. Once again, this tells us the bank, the broker, and the agent of that property. And it tells us it's an REO property versus a HECM or a pre-foreclosure. And it also tells us that it's active. If I go to the Services tab, this is a list of all of the services that we've done. So if I highlight Fannie Mae and open that up, I can see that we've done 7 periodics, and I can see that we've done 2, done or have scheduled, I should say, 2 repairs. Where it tells us is this is the date that the service was expected to be done, and this is the date that it was completed. This is my crew, who I am, and then here's the account code, service ID, and I can scroll over here and see that it's already been verified by asset preservation and what the status is. Let's go ahead and I'll open one of these up. Why don't we go ahead and we'll open this power washing up. This was actually completed about a week ago. And on this screen I can see what it was. It was a power washing. I can see that which of my sub crews actually did the work. I can see any notes that went with that property. I can see that it's already been verified by asset preservation and sent to a bill batch, so that I know when I'm going to get paid. And we'll come to that concept when we get to invoicing. If I wanted to see the pictures that went with it, I can highlight that little icon right there, and it'll actually bring up the pictures. What we do is we actually bring up thumbnails of all of the pictures, and here they are. If the title of the picture is green, that tells me it has a note on that picture. So if I highlight that picture and I hit this little question mark right here, which is a notepad, I can see that I put a test note in there just so I can show you today what it would look if my crew actually put a note on that picture when they were out in the field, and where that how I would know that note is actually there. And so here are all of my before, durings, and afters of my PI7s. So there's all those. If I wanted to, let's say, instead open this up and see it as not a thumbnail but a bigger picture, I can do this, and then I can just go scroll through all these pictures, and I can take a look at all these pictures, and it tells me what they are: befores, durings, and afters, PI7, etc., and so on. I can now close that. And on this, if I wanted to actually, let's say, download this to a PDF file, I could do that just by hitting download to PDF. And what that would actually do is come over here, and it actually sets it up in a PDF file like as such. And I could then go from page to page on that. So here's all the pages of my PDF. I can then close that. And now I've shown you how the pictures function within Asset PM Web. So I showed you how to pick an address. I showed you the property tab. The services tab is a list of services. Once again, these are periodics, your ongoings. Here's your repairs. If I had initials on this property, it would say initials. Let's see, I'll grab another property and see if it has initial things that we've done there before. And so I can highlight this address, bring it up. Oops. I'm actually working out of the house right now, and so my connection here at the home is actually quite slow, so you know. So and so here, if I go back to services, I can see under Fannie Mae, and yes, we have some initials and periodics and repairs. So let's go to the property scheduling tab. On this is the day of service. It tells me who I normally want to mow that lawn and take care of the interior. And it would tell me, we don't really do a lot with this winterization data right here, but we do have plans. And over here it tells me the lockbox code. So if I wanted to know the lockbox, if my crew were out there and they couldn't read that on their phone for some reason, or they just were driving by and they needed to go into a house or whatever, if they call your office, you could actually give them the lockbox code right from here. And then last but not least, I can go out to the special request screen. And on this screen here is where I could actually create a special request for this property. So I can come down here and I can pick which account code I want to do. If I wanted to sort this by alphabetically by account code, I could do this. Notice that it always leaves this report special request for bid other things at the very top, because that's the one you're going to use quite often, actually. So if I go ahead and I click on this, I can then set that account code, and it just set that account code right here. I can then pick which of my people I want to do that. I can pick whoever. I can assign the due date it's due. I'll just put in today, and I'll put in test if I wanted to, or test again, whatever. And I can save that. As soon as I save that, if my person in the field were to sync, that'll actually now show up on that contractor's or that employee's phone in the Asset phone app. So I've now shown you how to create a special request. I've shown you how to look at the property scheduling tab. We're going to come back to the importance of this day of service, as I mentioned earlier. And I can show you, I've already gone through how you can set the or select the services tab and go look at services either scheduled or already completed. And then the property tab. And then how it shows us the bank, the broker, and the agent. If I wanted to close this right side, I could click right there, and it gives me all this stuff and going across the screen once again. If, for example, I wanted to sort this thing by, let's say, sub, I want to also know see this list actually by sub, I can actually highlight this, drag this over to here where the arrows are, and I can resort these any way I so choose. So now it's by fee schedule, that's Fannie Mae, the status is active, and now it's by sub. Let's say and then down here I have the other fee schedule. Fee schedule is nothing more than a type of property. Who owns the property in our eyes? Let's say I wanted to slide this over here and do that first. So now I've sorted it by how many properties each of these people have assigned to them ongoing, and I can also see that I have 5 that are currently not assigned. We're going to talk about the importance of assigning, because what we're talking about there, if I select this and I take one of these, and it really doesn't matter for single source, so you know, but what it's talking about is on the property scheduling tab, it says that this field right here does not have somebody assigned to it. When it comes to single source, we don't need that assigned because we actually don't run single source ongoing services through our scheduler. We only run Fannie Mae REO and Fannie Mae Pre through the scheduling, and we're going to talk about that later. So I believe now that we've gone through this, oh, by the way, you can also export the list if I so chose, and I can pick what sort of export file I would like to export it on. And besides that, I think I've shown you what you need to see on PM Web for the Properties tab. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.